This is a reminder that if I went from this to this, you can do amazing things too. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you guys how you can transition easier and faster and have the less complicated transition that you can have. Did that make sense? In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 different subjects that are very, very important and can change your journey into the person that you are and make it the most easy transition. Number 1 will obviously be the beauty tips. So example, if you are just starting and you have no idea how to do your hair, you have no idea how to do your makeup, you have so much out there now that you can teach yourself on your own. You don't need any classes. Years ago, people had to go and take classes and like learn by themselves. Now you have endless and countless videos online about how to do your hair, how to do your makeup. There's so many. When you're just starting your transition, you are very vulnerable. I talked about this before. You are in such a vulnerable state because you're finally, after all these years, literally showing the world and yourself who you are on the outside. So when you're in front of the mirror and you're starting to do your makeup and then it's not how you were imagining it to be, it can really affect you and affect your confidence. You want to have skills when you're doing that because makeup and hair is going to be your comfort zone. It's going to be your comfort blanket. It's going to be your armor, like kind of like if you're going to war, because transitioning is not easy and there's so much stuff that goes into it. Watch a couple videos, learn yourself how to do makeup. You know, I used to do makeup on my sister. I used to like practice in my room alone and I used to get really, really good, and that's all I would do. And honestly, I would feel so good when I would step out the house and, you know, not only was I proud of myself, but I was proud of what I put on my face and what I did on my face. So it really gives yourself like a confident boost. And hair also, like, I wish that I watched more videos on hair because I don't know why, you just think that you're doomed. Like, you have short hair, you just started your transition, you think that the only thing you can wear is like busty crusty wigs because you don't have the money to afford high quality wigs. There are so many ways that you can have long hair and it looked natural. I remember I had short hair. It was like short like this, and a couple months before I started my transition, my mom took me to the barber, and I used to have like kind of long hair. Obviously my mom didn't know, and she took me to the barber, and then the barber literally, he's a barber, he literally cut my hair so short. And I remember I was crying and I was so upset, and I had no idea why because I didn't know what being trans was and I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me. And yeah, so like my hair grew, you know, a couple of inches and it was like this long, and I thought that I couldn't do anything. The only thing I would do is put a ugly ass cheap synthetic ponytail. I mean, that works too, but I could have done so much more. Like, there's affordable clip-ins on Amazon. After a couple of years, what I used to do is I used to pin all the back of my hair. I mean, there's so many tutorials online, you guys can find one like that, but I used to pin the back of my, like the half bottom of my head, and then clip in clips of extensions, and they were synthetic because back then I didn't have any money. And I used to blend the rest with my upper hair, kind of. And then I used to do braids when, you know, on certain days it wouldn't like match very well, and you could tell that like my hair was like ending here and then there's like a long thing. So I used to do braids, I used to do half up half downs, I used to like experiment. And when you're home alone, that's the time where you have to like experiment yourself and like see what looks good on you, because you don't know, you didn't grow up as a girl, you didn't grow up trying different hairstyle over the years. You have to do what girls did over like the course of like, when do girls start doing makeup and hair? Like 16 years, probably like 14 years in the course of like months. Remember, less is more. If you are just starting your transition and you know, obviously don't look like a girl because you just started, it's not the time to cake that makeup on and put intense makeup and put a huge eyeliner. Less is more. So, you know, start slow, start minimal, and you will get there. So the next point, which is the second one, is the health. Health is so like underrated. People don't think about their health. You need to think about your body being a temple. I understand, you know, you have so much hate towards your body when you start your transition, but you really need to love yourself and love your body and love the vessel that you're in. So you need to prioritize your health. And also another thing, if you have bad health, your hormones aren't going to work as good. So you need to remember that you need to hydrate yourself, you need to eat healthy, less sugar, more exercise. Health is always so good. And it's one of my biggest points and one of the things that I wish I did earlier, because when I did start my transition, I was very unhealthy. I was eating so much sugar. I would drown myself in food. I would, you know, use food as like my gateway because I was uncomfortable with myself and I was unhappy with how my transition was going, because we all are going to be unhappy with how it goes, because there's so many unrealistic ideas out there about like, oh, when you transition, bam, you're going to be a sickening role model girl. And that's not how it goes. That's not how it happens. It takes time, and everyone has like a different time frame of like when they're gonna be sickening. When you eat healthy, what you consume really affects your mental health. So if you eat McDonald's every day, don't be like surprised when you're depressed. And if you eat a lot of sugar, don't be surprised when your skin is breaking out or you have bad hair or bad nails. Everything that you consume reflects on the outside. The next point is going to be hormones. I know a lot of girls that are my age that when they started their transition, their parents were not supportive. I was really lucky and I had, you know, supportive parents, although like that changed with my, you know, one of them. I have friends that grew up and had awful parents. Obviously, their parents weren't supportive when they started their transition, so they had to like come to a different option when it came to hormones, so like black market hormones, and it has done stuff to their health that they will never be able to get back. It's doing irreversible damage. You need to like get good hormones and don't get anything that, you know, you think is good and you're not sure. Please, like my friends that have done bad hormones, I feel so sorry for them. And like they talk about this a lot and they're so open about it because it's like their biggest regret in life. Number 3 is gonna be, wait, is it number 3? Yeah. Number 3, oh wait. So number 4 is gonna be to prioritize the things you want first. So if you are happy with yourself and you think that hormones are gonna do you good and you're not gonna need anything else, that's great. Honestly, you shouldn't have to go through surgery. Surgery is a big thing, you know, anesthesia is scary. So, but if you do want to get surgery and you have plans like I did, I remember I had like a big list of like things I wanted to get done, and my advice for that is think about if you really want it. Think about if you really need it. Think about if it's just a goal or your dysphoria. You want to get your nose done. And you look in the mirror and you're like, I really don't think it's masculine, but I don't like it. You are mixing your dysphoria with the goals that you have for yourself. When you start your transition, you set a certain goal and you set a certain image in your head, and that image gets, you know, the more and more unrealistic as the years go by, and it's very easy to get carried away. If you know, have boobs and you don't really have dysphoria for your boobs, do you really need to get them done? Think about, you know, a boob job isn't always a good thing. There's people that have breast implant illness. It's a big thing. It's not even like researched by science because it's so new, but it happens so much. You know, having silicone inside your body is really not healthy and it's not good, but you know, who am I to talk? I have some. It's really easy to get carried away, and surgery is very addicting. And you know, I understand there's so many beauty standards now, and when you're trans, there's even more pressure on you to, I don't know, like be a doll, be like dollified. And it's so easy to get so far into it. I mean, obviously I've had multiple beauty enhancement surgeries, and there's some stuff that I didn't have to get done, and I wish that I would have learned to love those parts of myself without having to get the surgery. Obviously, I'm not talking about the vaginoplasty. That was not an option for me not to get it. So the things that you can see and be like, is that my dysphoria or just the image I have of my that I want to be? Because you can accept certain things of you. You need to accept, you know, the things that you have. Like, look at me and my sister. My sister looked pretty much alike like me. Obviously now we look very different because I've had a lot of things done, but she isn't trans, and she, you know, growing up didn't like her nose. And then over the years, she kind of like started liking it, and she didn't want the surgery anymore. She wanted a nose job and she didn't want it anymore. And then there I was getting every single thing done because I would confuse my dysphoria with like goals I had in my head of like what I wanted to look like. Especially the girls that have so much dysphoria, you assume the way you look is like makes you dysphoric because you've been dysphoric for so long. So example, if I have little features that remind me of my boy self, I'm not gonna like it. But you have to come to terms that, you know, if I look at my sister, she has like similarities to what I used to have that I changed because I thought it was because I was dysphoric, but it was just because it was reminding me of my boy face, you know? There are some stuff that I wouldn't have done because I would have probably learned to like them and accept. The fifth point is obviously gonna be bottom surgery. So I obviously did not have an easy time with bottom surgery. As I said, I had to get it. I had so much dysphoria over that part. I got bottom surgery before any other surgery because to me it was the thing that was making me the most uncomfortable. If you are questioning if you should get bottom surgery or not, you literally can go on with your life with what you have. I would say you don't have to get it. If you can live with the part that you have, I'm telling you, the bottom surgery is such a big surgery, and it's such an intense surgery, and it has scarred not only down there but my brain. I have been traumatized. That surgery traumatized the fuck out of me. The way and the recovery and the whole like process of it, such a traumatic experience. So if you don't have to go through it and you literally can live on and just have that, I would say 100% do it, because you do not need to go through that, and it's like such a big thing. And remind yourself, the girls that did it, it's because they had no other choice. They literally could not live with it anymore. If you can, keep it. And I would like to add also that I talked about this in one of my last videos. If you are starting your transition, you are very vulnerable. Remember that you are so vulnerable, and men know that. They know it, and there's so many guys out there that fetishize trans girls. So if you're just starting and you're going on dating websites, no. Wait a couple months or wait a couple years until you are comfortable with yourself, and no man can, you know, pick it out of you and just make you feel not only dirty, but like make you feel like you're not wanted and you're not loved, because you are. And you know, they are literally projecting their own insecurities onto you, and if they're not doing it yet, they will. So I would say wait. You know, there's like obviously exceptions with that, but you don't want to take the chance. You do not want to take the chance, girl. I really think that if I was starting my transition and I had to like watch one video, I would so give my own video to myself. But anyways, I love you guys so much and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.